American pop star Katy Perry has released a new single titled Bandaids, a breakup song widely believed to address her recent split with actor Orlando Bloom.
Katy Perry just dropped one of her most vulnerable songs to date, and she's being completely honest about how terrifying it was to release it. The pop star revealed on Instagram that she struggled for months before putting out her new single, Bandaids, and once you hear what the song is about, you'll understand why. So let's talk about what's going on with Katy, because this story goes way deeper than just a new song. On November 7th, Katy released Bandaids, which appears to be about her recent breakup with Orlando Bloom. And honestly, it's raw in a way we haven't seen from her in years. Just 2 days after the release, she posted on Instagram thanking fans for the support and opened up about the internal battle she went through. She wrote, and I'm quoting here, "Thank you for the love on Bandaids. TBH, I struggled for months with the idea of putting this song out. Even after all these years, it can be scary to be vulnerable. But hopefully the lyrics of the song resonate with someone going through what I have been through, and maybe they won't feel so alone and will find the strength to keep going like I have." That last part really gets me. After decades in the spotlight, she's still admitting that vulnerability is scary. And you have to remember, this is someone who's been through very public breakups before. Her divorce from Russell Brand back in 2011 was all over the tabloids. So the fact that she's still finding it difficult to be open about heartbreak shows just how personal this song is. Now, if you haven't listened to Bandaids yet, it's essentially about a relationship where someone gave everything they had, but it still wasn't enough. The opening lines set the tone immediately. She sings about promising that she tried, that there's no stone left unturned, and that it's not about what the other person did, but what they didn't do. They were there, but they weren't really there. You know what I mean? The music video actually starts with a pretty powerful image. Katy's washing dishes and drops what looks like an engagement ring down the sink. She reaches down to try and get it back, and that's when the song kicks in. It's not subtle, and honestly, it doesn't need to be. The message is clear from the first frame. The chorus hits even harder. She talks about getting so used to being let down, about telling herself someone would change when they don't, and about putting Band-Aids over a broken heart. It's that thing we've all done, right? Trying to fix something that's fundamentally broken by just covering it up and hoping it gets better. So let's rewind a bit and talk about Katy and Orlando's relationship, because context matters here. These two have been together, in some form, since 2016. They first met at a Golden Globes after-party in January of that year. Within days, they were spotted together at a Stella McCartney fashion show. By spring 2016, they were officially a couple, with sources saying Katy was calling him her boyfriend and appreciating how down-to-earth he was. But it wasn't all smooth sailing from the start. After about 10 months together, they split in early 2017. Their reps released a joint statement at the time saying they were taking respectful, loving space. That's Hollywood speak for, we're broken up, but we're not going to trash each other publicly. Here's the interesting part though. By summer 2017, they were back together. They were spotted kissing and cuddling at an Ed Sheeran concert in Los Angeles. Then they did some pretty high-profile stuff together. They met Pope Francis at the Vatican. They attended galas in Monaco. They were clearly back on. On Valentine's Day 2019, Orlando proposed. Katy posted about it on social media with a photo of her ring, and fans went wild. They seemed solid. In August 2020, they welcomed their daughter Daisy Dove. Katy posted a sweet birthday tribute on Daisy's first birthday, saying, "The day my life began." For the next few years, things looked stable from the outside. Katy talked about Orlando on podcasts. In one interview with Zane Lowe, she described how they argue, saying they go hot and fast, but then cool down really quickly. She made it sound like they had a good rhythm worked out. But apparently, behind the scenes, things were shifting. Rumors started swirling in late June of this year. People noticed Orlando attended Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez's wedding in Venice without Katy. That was a red flag for a lot of fans. Then on July 3rd, they officially confirmed the split through their representatives. The statement said they'd been shifting their relationship over the past many months to focus on co-parenting. They emphasized that their shared priority is and always will be raising Daisy with love, stability, and mutual respect. So unlike some celebrity breakups that turn nasty, this one seems genuinely amicable, at least publicly. According to sources that spoke to Us Weekly, Katy actually felt relieved that she wouldn't have to go through another divorce. Her split from Russell Brand was apparently extremely difficult, so ending an engagement, while painful, was at least less legally complicated. Another insider noted that they're still very much in touch and co-parenting together. Daisy's been spending time with both parents, sometimes even joining Katy on tour. So that brings us back to Bandaids and why it matters so much. This is Katy's first new music since her album, 143, came out in September 2024. That album, by the way, wasn't exactly well received. Critics and fans felt it fell flat compared to the pop music that dominated last summer. Albums from Chappell Roan, Sabrina Carpenter, and Charlie XC set a pretty high bar. But here's something interesting. Back in September, on the one-year anniversary of 143, Katy posted something reflective on Instagram. She talked about how records are snapshots of where an artist is in their life, and how they hope someone will hear themselves in the messages. She mentioned being on a roller coaster and how history is important because we learn from it. At the time, people thought she was just reflecting on the album's mixed reception. But looking back now, knowing what we know about Bandaids, it seems like she was already working through the emotions of her breakup and thinking about how to express them. The thing that makes Bandaids different from a lot of breakup songs is the specific accusations, or lack thereof. She's not saying Orlando cheated. She's not saying he was cruel or abusive. She's saying he wasn't present. He was there physically, but emotionally unavailable. That's actually a much more nuanced take than you usually get in pop music. There's a line in the chorus that really captures this. On the bright side, we had good times / never faked our pictures / we were perfect, till we weren't now we've got too many splinters. That acknowledgement that things were genuinely good at one point, that they weren't faking it for social media, but that ultimately something fractured beyond repair. That feels real. And that word choice, splinters, is interesting. It suggests something that causes small, persistent pain. Not a dramatic explosion, but little injuries that add up over time until you can't ignore them anymore. Now, since the split, there's been speculation about both of them moving on. Katy's been romantically linked to former Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. They were spotted having an intimate dinner together during a break in her Lifetime's tour. Some outlets have reported their relationship is heating up, though neither of them has confirmed anything officially. Meanwhile, Orlando's been doing his thing, attending events, focusing on work. There haven't been as many rumors about him dating anyone new, or at least nothing that's been confirmed. But the fact that they're both continuing with their lives while still co-parenting Daisy seems to support what they said in their statement about mutual respect. Let me circle back to why Katy's vulnerability about releasing this song is striking. She's 41 years old. She's been famous since 2008 when I Kissed a Girl became a massive hit. She's been through public relationships, a public divorce, engagement, motherhood, judging on American Idol, massive world tours. She's done it all. And yet she's still saying that being vulnerable is scary. I think that's something a lot of people can relate to, regardless of whether you're famous or not. The idea that no matter how much you've been through, opening up about pain never really gets easier. In her Instagram post, she said she hopes the song resonates with someone going through what she's been through, so they won't feel alone and will find the strength to keep going. That's a pretty clear indication that this wasn't just about artistic expression. She's trying to process her own heartbreak while potentially helping others do the same. The response from fans has been overwhelmingly supportive. Thousands of comments poured in thanking her for being brave enough to share something so personal. A lot of people are relating to the specific situation she's describing, the feeling of being in a relationship where you're giving everything and it's still not enough. What's interesting is how different this feels from her previous work. Katy Perry made her name on fun, catchy pop songs. Firework, Roar, Dark Horse, Teenage Dream. These are anthems. They're empowering or playful or both. Even when she's done breakup songs before, they've tended to be more defiant than vulnerable. Bandaids is quieter, more introspective. It's not about bouncing back immediately or being stronger than ever. It's about acknowledging that you tried, that it didn't work, and that you're still figuring out how to move forward. That's a more mature take on heartbreak than we usually get from mainstream pop. Some critics have pointed out that this could be exactly what Katy needed after the lukewarm reception to 143. That album was criticized for having too much production, not enough emotional depth, and for not showcasing her vocal abilities enough. Bandaids seems to address all of those criticisms. It's more stripped down, more personal, and it lets her voice shine through. It's also worth noting that Katy is currently in the middle of her Lifetime's tour. She's performing all over the world, and now she's added this incredibly personal song to her set list. Can you imagine having to sing about your fresh heartbreak night after night in front of thousands of people? That takes a different kind of strength. Her next show is scheduled for Madrid on Tuesday night. It'll be interesting to see how audiences respond to Bandaids live, especially now that everyone knows the context behind it. There's something to be said about the timing of all this too. She released the song on November 7th, just a few months after the breakup was confirmed in July. That's actually pretty fast by celebrity standards. A lot of artists wait years before addressing a relationship publicly through music. But Katy seems to have felt like this needed to come out now, even though it scared her. Maybe that's part of processing grief in real time. Maybe it's about reclaiming her narrative before tabloids do it for her. Or maybe she just wrote something that felt true and decided she had to share it, fear and all. Looking at the bigger picture, Katy Perry's career has been one of highs and lows, personally and professionally. The past year especially has been a whirlwind. She left American Idol after being a judge for several seasons. Her album underperformed. She went through a breakup that ended a 9-year relationship. She's navigating co-parenting. She's on a world tour. And somewhere in the middle of all that, she wrote a song vulnerable enough that it took her months to decide to release it. That's the reality of being a public figure dealing with private pain. Every decision about what to share and when to share it comes with consequences. Release it too soon and people might think you're capitalizing on drama. Wait too long and it might lose its emotional authenticity. Put it out there at all and you're opening yourself up to speculation, criticism, and having your pain dissected by strangers. But Katy made the choice to be vulnerable anyway. She put Band-Aids out into the world knowing it would spark conversations about her relationship, knowing people would analyze every lyric, knowing she'd have to perform it over and over again. And based on her Instagram post, she did it because she thought it might help someone else feel less alone. That's either really brave or really necessary for her own healing, or probably both. So where does this leave things? Katy and Orlando are broken up, but seemingly on good terms. They're co-parenting Daisy, who just turned 5 in August. Katy's continuing her tour and releasing music that feels more authentic than anything she's put out in years. Orlando's doing his own thing, possibly attending celebrity weddings in Italy. And Band-Aids exists now as this honest, raw snapshot of what it feels like when a relationship ends not because anyone did anything terrible, but because it just stopped working. That might not make for a dramatic tabloid story, but it makes for a relatable human one. Have you ever been in a relationship where everything looked fine from the outside, but you knew something fundamental was missing? Where you kept trying to fix it with small gestures, like putting Band-Aids on something that needed surgery. That's what Katy's singing about, and judging by the response, a lot of people know exactly what that feels like. If you haven't checked out Band-Aids yet, it's streaming everywhere now. And if you're going through something similar, maybe Katy's right. Maybe knowing someone else struggled with the same thing, even someone as successful as her, can make you feel a little less alone. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more celebrity news and updates. And let me know in the comments, do you think being vulnerable about heartbreak gets easier or harder as you get older? I'm curious what you all think about that.